Hi, and welcome to Talking Sports. My name is Ormie King, and I got a special guest here today. He's one of the finest heart doctors in our area, and we're very glad to have you and all the help that you've given us. I really appreciate it. Welcome.
Thank you,
Good to see
Ormie.
you. Thank you,
It's a
Doctor.
great pleasure. Good morning, Auburn and Cuyahoga County. I am Dr. Rama Godishala. This is my home since 1986. As you recognize, I was born in India and came to United States in 1979. Trained in New York City for about 6.5 years. After that completion of the training, I came to Auburn to start our practice and never looked back. And this is our home. We raised our family. My daughter was 1 year old when we came to Auburn, and it's been 31 years. It is a wonderful, great experience. I could not be more happier to meet great people in Auburn and in our county, and interacting with all the people, and be a part of a medical community at Auburn Community Hospital and in our city.
It's our pleasure to have you here because you've helped so many of us out, and we really appreciate it.
It is a great pleasure, Army, and as you know, as growing up as a young boy, I remember the days of 1962. I was about 7 years old, times of JFK.
Right.
And we all had JFK's picture walking in the Rose Garden in our living rooms, even when I was growing up. And I had an enormous interest and wanted to come to the United States for higher education, even as a child. When I was growing up, we did not have any TVs, and we just had a radio, and I used to gather the news and spread that in our small village.
Right.
And by end of the day, so many people used to come flock to our living room to listen to the 7 p.m. news, and I used to run down.
That's great. That's great. Tell me some of your members of your family and what they're doing now.
And I and my wife married for about 39 years, and we have one daughter. She is 31. As I said, she was 1 year old when we came to Auburn. She is a product of Auburn. She went to kindergarten, primary school, middle school, high school, and graduated. My wife, as I said, at 38, 39 years of marriage, we live in Auburn and practice. Our office in on Grant Avenue and Auburn Community Hospital. And she has a very good educational career and going to the public schools in Auburn.
That's
And
great.
she is training to be a cardiologist at Harvard.
Oh, terrific. That's wonderful. Your daughter, Anu, am I saying that right? A-N-U?
That's right.
Right, and she was a tremendous athlete, like yourself, because I remember I used to watch you play tennis, and you were very, very good at it, and she was excellent at it. She went on to get a scholarship out of it, I think, didn't she, if I'm not mistaken?
She did, and
Right.
she played from middle school and Auburn High School,
Right.
and she made a couple of times to the States. And during her tenure in college at Princeton, she played for the college team.
Okay.
And now she plays with her friends and colleagues in the Mass General and
About recreation,
and
yeah.
recreationally.
Right,
And I played not much of tennis when I was growing up, but volleyball was a school game, and also cricket in India. When I came to this country and picked up playing tennis, and do that here and there.
well, that's great. Well, you mentioned cricket, and I'm not sure how cricket's played, but could you just give me a brief explanation of how cricket's played? You're the first one we've talked about with cricket, so I'd like to at least hear what the sport, how it's designed. So
the cricket originated, British Commonwealth and Great Britain, and all the Commonwealth countries play cricket. You would see that India, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Rhodesia, and the neighboring countries of Pakistan. Only Commonwealth country, Canada, doesn't play cricket, but everybody else plays cricket. It is very similar to our baseball. It's a different kind of ball throwing, and the players protect the wickets. A bowler bowls the ball, and the batsman hits the ball out of the boundary. If it goes out of the boundary, you get 4 runs. And if you gets out of the boundary without touching the ground, you get 6 runs. And in between, the 2 batsmen from the both ends of the wickets run one end to the other. They get 1 or 2 runs.
Oh, that's great. I know soccer, we see pictures all the time, how they riot and everything else. They said it's the world's largest sport, which I never knew. I always thought it's football or something like that, but soccer was one of the leading sports of as far as attendance and people playing it like that. But they had several riots with that. But I don't think you see that with cricket, though. But that's a good thing. So.
Well, we had our things when you were playing, going after the umpires.
Right.
And calling it when it's a catch, not a catch. we did all that stuff. But the sports is mature, and there is a room between the audience and the sports. And as any place, the local authorities maintain a strict vigilance on not getting out of control. Once in a while you see, but for the most part, and some of the discipline and the civility that we learned from the British,
right.
The game is taken that kind of overtone.
Oh, that's great. Now your wife, for a while, she worked at
Boyle Center.
Boyle Center. Thank you for thinking for me. Sometimes I don't connect, so thank you. But yeah, she's a very, very nice person. She helped me a lot when I was down there. I worked with I delivered all the volunteers that were going around to different places in the community, so I was delivering them. But she was always say hello and ask, and we talk about you, and she said what a louse you were, and so I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm sure they got married for 39 years. You'll hear not all the good news boys like us. We have the good moments and bad moments, and I'm sure she remembers the other things better than good life we have. We have a very good, wonderful life. Right. And after the daughter left the house, and she was free and wanted to volunteer and work at the Boyle Center, helping the senior citizens. She is very good at computers and also very personable, and helping our senior citizens who are lived at Boyle Center for a few years, and she's helping me in our office.
Now, where's your family home now? Weren't you in the Bully tract there for a while, or no?
We live in East Lake Road.
East Lake Road. Okay, well, that's good. And you enjoy Auburn, you said?
Oh, tremendously.
Okay.
And the wealth of Auburn is its people and nature.
I totally agree with you.
And it's a great place, not only as a location, but a great place to raise a family, and environmentally and the weather-wise. I think many people will agree with me in the country. We have the most safest place, other than we get a lot more snow than many places.
We do that.
No tornadoes, no earthquakes.
Yeah.
And if you can persevere a few months of snow, the great place with the lakes and recreation and outdoors people for snow. And
yep. We've been blessed this year with the weather. I mean, it's absolutely been really a terrific year overall. If you started from January and ended in the end of the year, it was really, we had it pretty easy, and compared to what is going around with the rest of the country, because
Absolutely,
I mean,
and I'm sure the many of our citizens appreciated milder weather, could go out, run chores around, and a good deal easier to get around.
okay. Well, you've been here quite a while now. How many years did you tell me you've been here now?
31 years Army.
31 years. It don't seem possible. And I'm not doing this to pat your back, but you don't look any older to me than when you came here 31 years ago.
It's great, Army. It's a healthy living in a community.
That's great.
There are some, like anything else, work stress, but the living in a community, travel time, stress of living is a lot easier and better.
Oh, good.
And that I can say that we have the best, and our community deserves this kind of place.
Well, that's good. What would you say is the best thing of Auburn?
People.
People. That's a good one. How about if you could make any changes, though? Is there anything you would like to see changed in Auburn? So,
Yes, I do. And like anything else, we are fallen behind the curve, and as a rural and mighty industrial town that Auburn once was in the 40s, 50s, 60s, our industry is gone. I would like to see resourcing, educating our children in a high-tech area, medical sciences, computers, and new technology, and come back, utilize our natural resources, the water, land that we have, develop institutions, and bring back our kids that are educated in our local schools and nearby colleges, Syracuse, Cornell, Rochester. Would like to see a Northern California type of high-tech industry in our area to enrich and improve quality of life to our region, and particularly our city and county.
I totally agree with that. In fact, I just did an article about that, and it bothers me that we have several communities around us, like Ithaca has two colleges, four-year schools. Geneva's got two. We have just here, and we're very fortunate that we have this place. But I think we need a four-year college in Auburn, New York. I really do. There's 70 within the New York State, 70 different colleges. So I think it's time that Auburn got consideration to become a four-year school. I really do.
I totally agree, Army, and I hope our state, with some federal grants, the improving our community college to a four-year college, and more focusing on science, technology, and basic functionaries for our students,
Right.
and at an affordable education.
Right.
That would be a great thing. And I can say personally, growing up in a small village, and the family, I was the first one to go to college, medical school, and understand the value of education. And we can enrich our rural communities. Everybody needs to go to school, college, or if they are good at other professions, mechanism, painting, agriculture, be it, but learn it the right way and make it better.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, how long have you been out on Grand Ave? You didn't start at Grand Ave, did you?
I had a small office near the YMCA, 33 William Street,
Okay.
for a few years. And we moved to Grant Avenue Medical Center that we built back in '89.
Okay,
It's about 27 years.
that's great. I like it because it's easy accessibility there, I think, for you, really.
It is. It is very close to the hospital.
Right.
To get to the hospital and come back, and a good parking place. After we moved up there, many businesses came, including Walmart and Lowe's, and that has become a big business center in our city.
It has, no question about it. It always, I am amazed at one thing, though, that road that leads into it, if you're taking a left-hand turn and coming toward you, that road stops at the very end on State Street. I just got to share this with you, but Bay McGee was a personal friend of mine. He was he was on the city council, and back then we were asking about how long would it be before that road would be open, and he told me, and here we are. I don't know how many years later. You probably know better than I, but that road is still not open. So that road that goes all the way through, I think, would even help you more, but it's cut off at the other end. And I can't understand why they would start a road without permission and knowing that they're going to be able to come out the other side.
I agree there, Armie. And that street that Armie was talking about, named after one of our great citizens, John Walsh.
Right.
John Walsh Boulevard.
Right.
And that goes through side of Walmart. The original plan was to take it up to North Street and connecting, going to the thruway. However, there is a train track and environmental studies. I think the funding and the money, and we all know that got stalled. I hope our politicians, our assemblymen and senators, lobby to get funds to complete that road. Would be a great thing. It's more convenient to reach to Weedsport and west end of the town.
Right. This guy, Steve, that works with me here, that's on the camera, he told me that when you were back in kindergarten, that you were giving everybody a hard time. Now, is there any truth to this?
I don't remember. This was a long time ago, Armie. And if any kid says that he didn't do any mischievous things when you were kindergarten, your chance that he's lying is very much so.
Okay.
We all have our share of things. And I had to say, very interesting, the school years. I started schooling at the age of 3. And I grew up in a very small village, about 900 population at the time.
Excuse me, but did you say you started school at the age of 3?
That's right.
Is that right? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the school was only walking distance from our home. Used to go to school and come back in between and drink my milk.
I'm glad it's milk.
They go back. And it's a wonderful years, and we used to play around.
Right.
And as one can imagine, we had a 3-room school in the primary school, and it was 5 grades, so the 2 of the grades in 1 room, mm-hmm. shared with other kids, and small outdoor sports. We played soccer, mm-hmm. we played volleyball, mm-hmm. and some of the local games. And a little library. We used to read and listen to the radio. And we had a very good time. And then afterwards, I had to walk about 2 miles to go to 6th grade school. It was a pleasure. We always felt proud to go to school. Mm-hmm. And I graduated from high school when I was about 14 and a half or 15 years old. Wow. Went on to college, the pre-medical school, and I was in medical school when I was about 17 years old.
Wow.
In a big city. We always taken going to school, learning, was a tremendous pleasure, pride, because not many kids were going to school at the time.
Right.
And I would like to see that kind of mindset comes in our community, learning math, learning science, learning new things of today's the modern society is the way to go.
All right.
And I finished medical school and did my internship in the big city called Hyderabad. And I finished and came to the United States when I was 25 years old, back in late 1979.
Wow. There's so many in your field that come from your country, and I've been told, and I think I'm right, but the school period there is like 12 hours a day or something like that compared to ours, which was 8, I think, or something to that effect. But we got an awful lot of doctors that came out of India like that, no question about it.
Yeah, we had a long hours at school because of.
They still do?
They still do.
They
I
still
think
do.
they have changed. That was 50 years ago, but things have changed. They modernized. The schools are better. They have some computers. They have better school conditions. And it's a good deal of things. Even when you see the kids going to school, wants to learn, and every parent's family thinks going to school and getting them educated is the ticket to better life.
All right, I totally agree with that, yeah, no question about it. Now, if you act up in class and they keep you longer, could it be the fact that you might be there for 15, 16 hours a day? I know they would never put you in that spot. I know they would.
Yeah, we had, the school ended generally around 5 p.m.
Right.
But some of the teachers took extra classes until 6:30, 7 o'clock. So they going to school around 8 o'clock. So you're absolutely right, Ormie. It's anywhere from 10 to 12 hours days at school.
Right. It's paying off, though, I think, really.
It really
is.
It was.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I had to say, that tells how old I am. We used to have a chalk and the slate when it was a kindergarten. Then afterwards, we have the notebooks and pencils.
Wow, isn't that something?
So that's where I came from.
Well, that's great. That's great. When you were a teenager, what were your odd jobs to do back then?
I worked in our family business, the small business in the town. Even I remember when I was 10, 11 years old, and helping my father, helping in the shop.
What kind of shop was it again?
It's a retail.
Retail, okay, uh-huh.
And never afraid of working, and taken that pride in helping the family, my mom and dad, and that was the way of life. And the weekend came, we used to sit around and go around and collect and work with the family. And then afterwards, my family had rice processing and peanut processing mills. Used to work around.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Everybody has funny moments in their life. Any that crossed over your path you'd like to share with us? Or?
Well, many funny moments, and
We like them. We like
absolutely.
funny moments here, so.
The growing up, and some of the things that happens in school and college. Some of them I can't even tell in the
I
public
understand.
domain.
I understand.
And
And this guy knows that very well, so.
and I'm a sports enthusiast. And after I came to United States and get to love the sports, and big fan of every sport there is, including wrestling.
Wrestling. Did you wrestle in school when you were there?
No, I did not. I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
that big boy, so wrestling was not a.
Okay.
And the big time Giants, Jets, Yankees, Mets, and Bills fan, no discrimination. They're all our teams, and we had a fun time watching our Super Bowls.
Oh, that's great.
The Giants wins and taken grief that we lost 4 consecutive Super Bowl visits by our Bills.
Well, that's sad, isn't it? Really.
It is absolutely. Growing up in Auburn, I share many people's.
A lot of people think of the world of the Bills, but it's been
Absolutely,
a long time
absolutely.
now. Yeah, without a doubt. And they want to bring back OJ, but I don't think he's in shape to come back. So.
I think we got the good players and good players coming from our community,
Right.
and all over recruit, and we need a good coach, and even before that we need a front office and owner that makes the right decisions, put together a front office and hire the best coach and recruit players. Maybe in a few years we will be challenging Eastern Division
Here's
Super
hoping.
Bowl.
Yeah, here's hoping.
AFC.
I hope they do it for Jim Kelly, too. He was a heck of a quarterback. I don't know if you
And
know.
I hope Jim gets to hold on to that
Right.
ball game and winning Bills Super Bowl.
Yep.
And he has his share of health issues, but he would be a great guy, sharing a Super Bowl win the Bills.
Yep, he's a terrific guy. How about some of your proudest moments? Now, you have a lot to be proud of, so.
I think the proudest moment was the growing up when I finished my pre-med in 2 years and ranked in our state and get into medical school. That was the beginning of the career things happened to me, and the education was totally free, and the 5.5 years of medical school and 1 year of internship did not cost a penny. And
That's
they
amazing.
That
is amazing.
that got on the merit. And the best happy thing that happened to me in my new country, United States, was getting my job in the trainee in New York.
Right.
And then onwards, the day that I came to Auburn.
Wow. That's wonderful. I'll tell you one thing. You've done it.
Mention your wife is your proudest moment.
Jim.
Of course, everybody's life, and traditionalists like I am, the happiest moment is when I met my wife and married, and we live together, and we have a daughter, and we are blessed. Those are all the proudest moments, not only in my life, but any family and everybody's life.
Right.
And we cherish that, and hoping to see.
Is your daughter still playing tennis?
She is playing recreationally at.
Well, she's a doctor now, and
She's a doctor now.
well, that's great. And where does she work? Whereabouts?
She is doing her cardiology training at Beth Israel, Brigham, and Mass General Hospital,
Great.
the Harvard cardiology program, Army.
If she's half as good as her dad, she'll do very, very well.
She is a lot better. He's an old dad. He's an old traditional.
Old dad.
And
Okay. Let's see. What do we got here now? Those are some of your proudest moments. What do you miss most about Auburn and Cuyahoga County, and how it's changed over the years? So.
as a physician, some of the changes happen not only in our community, but in our country, in the healthcare system, and totally not to my liking, and would like to see the traditional care provided to the patients, individual physician and patient, that you call your doctor, you call your hospital, and caring for them at a personal level and applying the best knowledge and science, treating today's medicine to in our community across the country. I would like to see that come back. And other things I would like to see come back is our industry and economic growth in our community. And that's good for everybody.
Yep.
And I would like to see our kids aspiring to be bigger, better. Science, medicine, technology is the way to go.
I agree with you. Industry's a biggie, no question about it. I have a booklet that the Chamber of Commerce put out, but back in the mid-'50s, we had 40 different industries in Auburn, New York. And back then, we had almost 10,000 people that were employed by those industries. And when that went out at Auburn, it really hurt us bad, so no question about it.
I
We're down
hope-
to about maybe 5 to 10 now, so, as far as industries, so.
Some of the old industries are gone, but we had to focus on getting the new high-tech industry,
All right.
environmentally sound, use abundance of our land, the water resource,
Right.
to build on new line of industry that would be good for our community.
Right.
and our children that who went to school, colleges, hope to see they come back and they call home and make their living
Yes,
locally.
very important, I think, yeah.
I absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to talk about that we haven't asked you about? No.
Well, Army, you know,
How many people do you employ at your present location?
we have about 15 people employed in our medical center called Auburn Cardiology Associates. We have 3 qualified and highly trained doctors and 4 nurses, technologists, and supporting staff, altogether about 15 people.
That's great.
We provide the care to our community on a 24/7 basis. All our cardiologists, one of them available to hospital on a 24 hours basis, providing the consulting care, and I'm proud of it. And we still take the medicine as an old-fashioned way, and would like to continue that as long as
That's wonderful.
we have ability to do that.
Yep. I obviously am a patient, but they keep shining their light in my ear and it keeps going against the wall, so I don't know if they'll continue to have me or not, but they're all very nice to me, they really are. Just, you got a good staff there, so, yeah.
It's Army, you are quite generous, and it is our strength in our community, people like you, and keeping a tradition, keeping looking after the community. I remember when I first came, you were a legislator, and helping developing some of the projects, and the road that you mentioned, and you had that initiation back then, lobbying, getting the road built. I hope we will have that John Walsh Boulevard is completed
That would be nice.
soon.
Yeah.
And there are many, many people. And I grew up, many of my patients, last 30 years, they were 50s, 40s, I was 30, and they are in the 90s, I'm in the 60s. So it is a great ride that I had in Auburn.
I hope when I'm 60, I'll look as good as you do, believe
Oh,
me.
wonderfully, you look wonderfully. You know, I saw you playing tennis, and you're a wonderful athlete, and you are legend.
How come you kick my rear end every time we played? And now you're praising me. What the heck? That's not nice.
I don't think I play any better, Army. It's the only difference is that 30 years, 20 years. I correct that.
I can't thank you enough. You've been a pleasure to have on here, and we love everything that you're doing for our community.
Good, wonderful, Army. It's a great pleasure. I would like to see that our community educated well, industries come back, 4-year college, good working, upgraded medical system to care for our community, and a community with low crime. It's not only just a physician. I am a citizen of Auburn. I like all these things, just like anybody else.
Sure.
And would like to see retire and enjoy my remaining life.
All right, exactly. That's great. Well, once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Army.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Before you leave, we have a guest book over there. I appreciate if you sign the guest book for me.
Thank you very much,
What I'll
Army.
do is I'll be sending autographs with your name on them, so
A wonderful, Army.
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you, Doctor.